Welcome in or welcome back. Today we're going to be going over the super blue moon in Aquarius that happened on the 30th of August in 2023, the one I talked about in my other videos. Hold on one sec though. Alright. So first things first, I want to assert I have First Amendment rights to speak my mind, and anybody who claims to be my family, who wants to try to control me and talk shit, y'all can go see your way out the door and stop following me, stop watching me. I am not your business. Okay? So stay out of mine. Point blank, period. You chose to be bullies. You chose to be bad people to someone who only ever showed you love. That was your choice, okay? And I put up with it for as long as I possibly could. I'm sober now. I'm not numbing myself. And it's time that I release my pain and expose my burdens and suffering. And whatever way I choose to do that is the way I choose to do that. And it's none of your fucking business, okay? So stop calling me. Stop harassing me. You are not a good person. Period. Period. Anyone who tries to make themselves appear big and bad and strong and what is it called? Virtue signaling at the expense of somebody else is not a good person. You're gaslighters, you're liars, you're manipulators, you're bullies, you're nasty, and I don't like you. As human beings, I don't like you at all. I don't care if you're my blood, I don't care if you're related by marriage, I don't care. You're not family to me. You treated me like shit my whole life and pretended that you liked me, claimed that you loved me. No, that's not love. Love is not making someone cry. Love is not making fun of someone in front of their entire family. Love is not every time someone expresses themselves or explains their beliefs, you automatically shoot them down and tell them they're crazy and they belong in a straitjacket. Okay? So, like, do I have to be any more clear here? You think you got it or what? Because, like, you're not cool, bro. You're not cool. You're not more sane than me. Why don't you go cheat on your wife again, you fucking pig? Like, seriously. Aida or whatever her name is? Yeah. I could say a lot worse, but I'm not going to. But you know what? Leave me alone. You broke my heart enough. I am 36 years old. I have bit my tongue long enough. Okay? You've been doing this shit to me since day one. Telling everyone else that it's Tara the terror, Tara did this, Tara did that, and then in the meantime, you're the one that was kicking the shit out of me, knocking me in the freaking trenches, kicking me, punching me, tossing me off of walls and shit, like literally covered in bruises, going to school being like, my brother's beating me up, and they send child services and everyone lies. And then they say, I'm the one that did. Yeah, I gave myself bruises. Yeah, okay. Or I hit him first. Yeah, okay. All I ever wanted to do was play outside and play in nature and make up fun stories in my head or whatever. And all you fucking scumbags ever did was bully me and treat me less than. Because you have no self-esteem. What is the word? Whatever, I really don't care. It's like, y'all are just absurd. Just because you have a position of power in this matrix doesn't give you any power over me. It doesn't make you better than me. And you will find that out eventually. You will. But you're gonna leave me alone. I don't care if you sick your dogs on me, you get the whole freaking blue squad, whatever, on me. Have fun. Like, I'm already in jail. I'm already in prison. What do you think this is? I literally can't even do anything. I could barely stick my finger in fucking dirt without somebody calling the FBI on me. Leave me alone. There's nothing you could say to me. There's nothing you could do that will make it better. At this point, there's not. I feel sick just thinking of being around you. It makes me sick to my stomach. Thinking of everything and how you've all treated me. I've not been a saint my whole life. There's been times where I was a bit of a bully, but I will say though, the few times that it was like pretty justified, because the people that I was making fun of were being really fucking stupid. But that's different, okay? So you're not gonna bury my words anymore. You're not gonna bury me anymore. You're not gonna freaking suffocate me under the couch cushions anymore. You know, you're not gonna make fun of me anymore. At least not to my face. Because you will never see me again. You want to make up for it? Leave a fat sack of cash outside my door. And a I'm sorry note. I still want nothing to do with you, but at least I won't, like, at least it'll, you know, make up maybe for some of the fucking karmic debt. Someone who loved you more than anything for real. Your baby sister. That's how you treated them. That's how you taught your nephews to act. Yep. That's how you taught your children to think of me. All your stupid friends, everybody. Oh, Tara's crazy. She belongs in a psych ward. Oh. She's a junkie in a fucking whore bag. Yeah. You're a really great person, okay? And then we got your wife, who just tried calling me. Clearly y'all are spying on me, because it was just as I was about to bury the wax from the fire trial I ran on all y'all. As soon as I'm about to do it, I get a call from her. Oh, I wonder why that is. Yeah. She's one of those that will smile in your face and stab you in the back when you're not looking. Talk mad shit behind your back. Yeah. Real fake. Real fake. Fake as they come, really. Like, I can't even begin to imagine what they do in the dark. Them two. I can't even begin to imagine. It actually makes me want to vomit. I've been numbing myself for so long. And just the thought of being around any of these people makes me physically ill. I get scared like I am a 5-year-old again. That's not okay to stir that up in anybody. It's not. It's really not. Yeah. And the mirror verdict, a truth about yourself comes to light. Accountability becomes liberation. That's what I did. I did the candle trial with the mirror. So whatever you've put towards me is getting put back on you. Have fun with that. All right, so Oh, and then I just want to say, you know, our whole lives it was always like, oh, who's the favorite? Adam. Who gets shit on? Tara. Literally, our grandmother and our mother loved you so much. Those were basically the two main people that were in our lives, right? And Aunt Joyce, but, you know, I don't think she really had favorites per se. She didn't really treat anybody like any different. But, you know, you definitely got the favoritism there, and it wasn't good enough for you? That wasn't good enough for you, that you had to continuously bully me for the rest of my life until adulthood? You had to continuously bully me and make fun of me in front of everybody. Okay. And, you know, it's not like any of this has been easy for me to say. I've always been a very loyal person. I've always been the type of person that doesn't like to spill any beans, that doesn't like to spill any dirty laundry, none of that crap, okay? And I've also been an extremely forgiving person. But I'm not doing it anymore, because all it's been doing is ripping apart my fucking soul and allowing everybody else to siphon my love and siphon my energy and never give me anything back. You will not get my love anymore. You will not get my forgiveness. You will get nothing from me. Just as you've given me, you will get nothing. Okay? Okay. So, there's that. Now, if I don't post again or whatever, y'all know what happened. So, it is what it is. Let's look at this. So I wanted to share this because this is the water that I used to try to help the collective. Hold on. Okay, I had my mobile data and location turned off because somebody's like hacking into my stuff like almost like constantly. And I needed a moment away from it, but I couldn't go into this. But now I got an ad down here because apparently my thing didn't get paid again, which is like ridiculous. I feel like I just paid it like very recently. But what is this down here? Like, that looks creepy as hell. It looks like that Sophia chick. And then somebody in like a weird ass pillow. Like, what is that? Alright, anyway. So we got Sun in Leo in the 10th, early morning dew salutes the sunlight. This symbol shows the relief, joy, and motivation that can come from going through cold, and thank you for changing that, through cold and difficult times, even dark struggles, and waking up to things being sunnier and warmer and full of promise. This is a time of freshness. Hold on. Oh, and I also I just thought of something. I had to delete my storage because I forgot to do that. But, so I was at class yesterday, and then I had to, like, go to the main building for a meeting. And, on the way there, this person who I have a crush on, okay, came into my mind. And as soon as they came into my mind, I swear to God, an ant appears on the sidewalk, like, spontaneously. And, like, Adam Ant, like, that my mom called him. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It's like this, whatever that energy was that, like, whatever they did to Horus, between Horus and Hathor, that's, like, what he is, I swear. Like, it's just, he's been doing it since I was a kid. Spitting in my chocolates that my little childhood boyfriend gave me. Like, you know, it's just weird. It's just really creepy and weird. It creeped me out. And then even, like, my teacher was, like, talking about, like, because I got into class early and then we were talking and she, like, brought up ants. And she was, like, talking about how, like, her house had, like, a major infestation of ants. And then she had to, like, send them to a lab because nothing she was doing was working. And then it was, like, some species of ant. They, like, that was like insanely rare, and they had to like do some special crap with like putting some type of substance in peanut butter inside of a straw and like putting it around her house. And then since then, I think she said it's been 5 years. She hasn't had ants, but then she just started getting them again. And this teacher also was telling me like all this other stuff, but she's been like attacked and assaulted for some reason, probably because she's my teacher and she's got some important role in things or whatever. I don't know. And then like in that the class before that, there was ants crawling on me. And then all of a sudden this chick who hadn't been there in a few classes, that reminds me of Intuitive Goddess, came in. Like, because there was a bee and then there was ants. It was like a wasp though. And then as soon as she came in, like nothing was bothering me anymore. I was like, this is weird. But then what's it called? And then she was talking about something in one of her videos recently about how like she saw it popped up on her feed, somebody like doing something to like ant colonies. They poured something down. They did something to like one ant and it affected like all of the other ants in the colony, like killed them all. They did something, I don't know. Fire ants she was talking about. Whatever. So yeah, and then I've had an ant infestation for the past like 3 years. I get baby ants that I think are like crawling in my brain probably and stuff. Like no matter what I've done, they won't go away. Yeah. So there's definitely something going on there with this energy, and it really needs to stop. I'm calling judgment on it. I don't care if you're my family. I don't care if you're a police officer. I don't care if you're fucking... I don't care. Just, like, leave me alone. Go live your life. Leave me alone. I have, like, 3 followers. Why do you even... Like, leave me alone, bro. Environmental reckoning. Nature responds to exploitations. Disasters reveal hidden truth. Did this already happen? We got... Oh. Yeah, this dude's playing in my fucking energy. He needs to stop. Like, leave me alone. Oh my god. Leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with you. Leave me alone. Okay. So, moving on. Like, I'm feeling ill now. It's like, ugh. It's not fair, man. Like, everyone has a right to, like, okay, you know, there can come a point, or maybe you already have learned your lesson. Maybe you already, you know, maybe you already figured it out. Maybe, you know, maybe that's why you're trying to call me. I don't know, and I don't care, because I'm still healing from it. I'm still dealing. I've never even gotten a chance to deal with any of the trauma y'all have caused me, because I wasn't allowed to. I wasn't allowed to, ever. I had to just keep burying it and dealing with it. Dealing with you guys, continuously doing it every time. I think, like, maybe the last 2 times I saw y'all, like, you weren't being bullies. Like, maybe the last 2 times. But I don't care. I don't, you know. There's something about a secret. Let's see. Like, how is that fair that, you know, I don't get to deal with any of the shit, any of the pain y'all have caused me? Anytime I try to, you try to lock me up, you try to persecute me. What about you getting persecuted for once? How about that? Theft. Yeah. stealing from me my whole life, stealing from my piggy banks. God knows what else you've stolen from me. Someone stole my virginity. I wonder who that was. Involved in shady, malefic dealings. There you go. Is extremely greedy / selfish. Yes. Telling me a single mother of 3 kids whose kid's father died and who has no supports. Telling me, oh, you know, I did everything I needed to do for my kids. Bitch, you have a fucking wife. You have her family. You have Brianna. You have her family. You have so many supports in your life. You have friends. Like, get a grip. And you're a man in a patriarchal society. Oh, I had to sell this and I had to sell that and blah, 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 blah. You have no clue what it's like to live the struggles I've lived, and then to judge me harshly, look down on me, and refuse to help me in any way, shape, or form. Not that you have to help me. Not that anyone has to help anyone at the end of the day. But you didn't even include me in your children's lives. You never even invited me over to your house. Like, what the fuck kind of a family are you, bro? And then every time I see you, you're mean. You make fun of me. You gaslight me. Make fun of my beliefs. No, that's not, no. And then you act like, your ego, bro. You have such a fucking big ego. You have such a big ego. And then you give off this aura of like, oh, feel bad for me. I had a hole in my heart when I was little, and I couldn't be around you because you're the terror. So I had to move away to get away from you because you stressed me out too much. That's what I have to say to you, okay? I don't feel bad for you at all. Okay, now, moving on. This symbol shows the relief, joy, and motivation that can come from going through cold and difficult times, even dark struggles, and waking up to things being sunnier and warmer and full of promise. This is a time of freshness when the air, the newly awakened mind, is crisp, and the ground, the refreshed and renewed body, readies itself for a new round of activity. The rewards may be transitory, so enjoy the good times when they come, and salute the more difficult periods as being. Sorry, I had a spiritual burp there. Difficult periods as being times of testing and learning. You are likely to go through times when the nights seem very long, but there is always the reward of dawn as the sun rises again on a brand new day. Refreshment after the long night of the soul. Dawn meditations bring inspiration, awakening energies, signaling new beginnings, changing emotions, counseling, the caution, not letting go of difficult situations, persisting with problems that have been solved, feeling that the worst is going to happen all the time, and depression. This is the moon energy. Moon in Aquarius, 10 degrees. Or is it in the 10th? I don't know what that means, the 10. Oh, let's see. It's at 9 degrees, 17, which I guess gets rounded up to 10. Where does it say? Am I tripping? Oh. In the 11th. Oh, wow. And it's in the 11th house. That's like double Aquarius. The moon is in Aquarius in the 11th house. So, yeah, it says the 10 is 10 degrees. That's freaking... Dude, this is powerful. Alright. I didn't even know this. So I go on instinct. But everyone has had a problem with that my whole life. Calling me impetuous and impulsive and a hazard and a danger. You're a danger to society. And then that person will go and do something 10 times worse. But it's like, okay. Unbelievable. Alright, sorry guys. I'm like, really, like, I can't. Woo! All right. This symbol shows the ability or the need to be able to recognize or realize when conditions are changing or when there's a need to work on themselves. It can imply having the scales fall from around your eyes about someone. You may have thought the world of them, and then they are not the person you thought. Yeah. You could wake up. I always looked up to my brother. Like, just saying. Like, my dad, all of them. You could wake up realizing that you're not who or what you said you thought you were. Relationships may be left behind. The revelation can be amazing, but it requires accurately assessing what is and what isn't the ideal. Popular support does not always equate with depth of character and self-worth. Fleeting opportunities may present themselves. Be wary of committing before you understand what you're dealing with. The big awakening, staying true, reversals of fortune, waking up just in time, not truly seeing people or scales falling from one's eyes, projections of personality. The caution, clinging to false feelings of fame, falling off the pedestal, not realizing or admitting changes, disillusionment, disappointment, committing to things too quickly. Mercury and Leo in the 22nd degree. A carrier pigeon. Why does my nose keep itching when I'm freaking doing these readings? This is annoying me. Somebody's like doing something to me while I'm doing this with my nose. And then people say, like, it means you're on the nose with whatever you're saying. It's why you're like touching your nose. But it's like, okay, I get it. I'm on the nose. Okay. Like, leave my nose alone, please. Jeez. All right. This symbol implies a clear sense of purpose and direction, even a sense of divine guidance. During wars, pigeons were trained to deliver very important messages and even won honors and medals after the war. The carrier pigeon may have to go through hardships and obstacles in order to deliver the message it's carrying or to complete its mission. Oh, it's so funny because people just keep bringing up pigeons all the time. Or often, not all the time, but saying they don't think pigeons are real. So that's interesting. The mission can be one of bridging communications between people or conveying something that someone needs to hear or know. Sometimes there's a need to know that the end is in sight and there is a prize to be won in bringing a message to those who need it. Whatever this symbol is speaking about in your life, it assures you that you have a quote-unquote mission that needs to be fulfilled. Bringer of good tidings or messages, creating lines of communication, completing tasks, setting out on a mission, a sense of destiny, counseling, mediating, and helping others. The caution, gossip, messages that are not useful to anyone, stool pigeons, being determined to do something regardless of the consequences, working until one drops. So there's this Purple Heart pigeon energy going on with spreading the messages, the helping with the awakening, helping with the dawn of a new day energy. So that's cool. All right, Venus in Cancer in the 15th degree, I guess. A group of people who have overeaten and enjoyed it. This symbol implies situations that have overindulged, overextended themselves, overcommitted, or overspent in some way. This can be through overeating, or it can be through material excess, spending too much, doing anything to extremes. Oh, and the extremism card came up in the fear cards yesterday when talking about, was it tofu? Yeah. I don't know if Spirit was trying to be funny and saying like people that eat tofu, they're going to extremes with their virtue signaling maybe or something, because like tofu's nasty. But tofu can be really good actually if you know how to prepare it properly. So I'm not really sure what that message was talking about. But anyway, this can be overeating. Okay, blah, blah, blah. There can be a feeling of pleasure. Oh, by the way, hold on. So today's word of the day is kind. That's what Killian chose. And it was actually came out between kind and cruel. So I do want to say, you know, I want to reiterate this. My intentions with saying anything that anybody's done, that I've experienced in my life, that, you know, it's a hard pill to swallow. My intentions are not to be cruel. My intentions are to be kind to myself and to others who are experiencing the same thing, by allowing them to have a voice that speaks for their suffering as well, and allows them an opportunity and a channel and a pathway to speak their truth as well. Because if I come out okay on the other side, then it will give them the freedom to do the same. And, you know, that's kind of the point here, or it is the point, really, or one of the main points. There's lots of points, but yeah, my intentions are never to hurt or harm anybody, you know, just to shed light and return the harm that somebody else has sent out to someone back to them. They can have it, you know? They can have that right back. Like, take it. I don't want that. Okay? Yeah. Oh, and then the fear cards, I didn't do them. I'll do them right now. Because we've been doing the 3 fear cards per day. Knives came out again. Going broke and explosions. Okay. Going broke is on top. Next pile. Death just came out on the bottom there. Just kind of fell out. Oh, me. Let me bridge it first. By the way, y'all, if you haven't watched Unite the Collective's last reading, I recommend watching it. He was explaining stuff about food and math that came up in the fear cards yesterday. Or not yesterday, it was 2 days ago, because I didn't do anything yesterday. I couldn't. I was just... Look, tofu again. But that's... We're not doing that. Okay. Potluck dinners fell on the floor. Okay. A lot fell on the floor. Potluck dinners, ghost in reverse, phobias upright. Bad poetry and slipping on banana peels. Potluck dinners. Ghosts in reverse. So people that oppose the ghost, our ghost crew that we got going on here, are going to become potluck dinners. Somebody's afraid of that. Because that's bad poetry. And that's equivalent to bad poetry and slipping on banana peels. That's what I'm getting. I don't know. Y'all interpret it how you want, I guess. That's what I'm getting at. I like my poetry, so I don't give a fuck. I'm not ghost in the reverse. Neither. I'm sure many people think I am, though. Okay, next. Oh, I also wanted to say, when I was talking about the bald guy at the gym the other day, the YMCA, that came out of the steam room, I was thinking, that might not have been like an emanation of Jeff, what is his name? Jeff Bezos or whatever. It could have actually been the Anthony guy that lived two doors down from me that was like a rapist. But also Anthony could be the same as him, you know. But Anthony was definitely a PDF file. So that would make sense because I was getting weird, like I was sensing like weird vibes, like kid toucher vibes. And then as soon as I sensed that, he came out of the steam room. This bald guy that had like a hawk kind of nose. He was a younger guy. And he looked real mean. He looked real like, I'm so big and bad. Alright, we got moths and getting arrested in the reversed. I like the getting arrested in reverse because I really don't want to get arrested. But if I do, it is what it is, you know? I'm in an outdoor prison right now. I literally have bars on my windows. Like, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so then the ones that can't... So the ones on top is slipping on banana peels, getting arrested, and going broke. Okay? Alright, let's continue. Group of people have overeaten. There can be a feeling... Okay, so then we're talking about spending too much, doing anything to extremes. There can be a feeling of pleasure and satisfaction, but there must be a return to more down-to-earth matters or work. It's a good idea to enjoy your good fortune, and you may be feeling like your needs are met in many areas of your life, but do be wary of going too far in your quest to be satisfied. Periodically, you may need to curb your indulging for a while in order to digest what you've taken on. Otherwise, waste and ill health could result. So it's this energy of balance between indulging and reflecting or digesting. Indulging and digesting, like giving yourself time to digest. Whether that be information, spending time with somebody that you enjoy spending time with, or like content that you like watching, or, you know, anything that it is. Otherwise, waste and ill health could result. Communal cohesion through indulging in the senses, satisfied hunger, consumerism and its benefits and risks, having had enough, the rights of people to enjoy their lives. Yeah, we like that one. Diets, the caution, self-indulgence largely through the senses, the haves and the have-nots, obesity, gluttony, overspending, bad nourishment, and commercialism. Mars in Virgo in the 5th, a person becoming aware of nature, spirits, and normally unseen spiritual energies. Oh, and I just wanted to say, I really don't want to keep bringing this up, but it's still on my mind heavily because they're in my energy right now. Okay, it just, my brain just, hold on. No, Spirit blocked it. It's fine. That's good. That's good. Okay. Mars in Virgo in the 5th. A person becoming aware of nature, spirits, and normally unseen spiritual energies. Okay. This symbol implies strong feelings of another level of awareness around you. Your rational mind is at times being overshadowed by intuitive thoughts and feelings. Go figure that one, right? That's so funny. It's like setting an example what just happened. The imagination is showing a clearer path to understanding and knowledge. Equipped to see the invisible, you penetrate into the mystical levels of life. There may be messages to bring back into your waking consciousness. This can show a creative, attuned mind that can perceive subtle phenomena in the environment. Tap into your clairvoyance, but don't be thrown off track by creative fantasies, or don't be thrown off track by it. Creative fantasies is separate. Okay. Creative fantasies, fairy tales, seeing things or just imagining them, fantasizing about people or experiences, attuned minds, seeing entities, fairies, nature, spirits. So this is a thing like that. I have a very active imagination, and like I see things in a way that like I really feel like most people don't. Okay. And that's made it very hard for me to navigate relationships and anything in life, really. But I also have a very scientific mind. So whenever I see or hear anything, I always try to keep that in mind, like to have like the scientific method in mind. If you know what the scientific method is, if you don't, Google it. Pause the video and Google it, because I'm not going to explain that right now. But, you know, so I try to go through that with anything. I don't feed into stuff 100%. I have theories and hypotheses. And that's, you know, and then when it builds up and builds up and builds up, then I'm like, okay, it's most likely this is what's going on here, right? And so you got supernatural. Like, the supernatural world is real. It's very real, and a lot of people deny it. And then they're the ones that are actually well-versed in it, and they're in the background doing all kinds of fuck shit. Yeah. Yeah, I see you. Okay. So, yeah, just know that. Anyone who's actively denying the existence of ghosts and goblins and ghouls and all of that, most likely they're the ones doing the most in the background. So they'll caution confusion or a lack of true perspective, time wasted, being a space cadet. I just called myself a space cadet yesterday. I also called my child a space cadet the other day as well. Whatever. Anyway, time wasted, being a space cadet, losing the plot, mental institutions not being taken seriously, schizophrenia. Yeah. I don't think being a space cadet is an active choice for people. For most people, it just kind of happens. A lot of times it's because people are doing dark magic on you and blocking your crown or binding it up or whatever stupid crap they do. Or you're just malnutritioned, you're burnt out, you're overspent, understaffed, undersupported, and then what else can you do but space out, you know? Alright, Jupiter in Aries in the 18th degree, an empty hammock. Hold on. This is exactly what I was just saying. This symbol shows issues of working hard versus taking time out to relax. If you find that you are being too hard on yourself, this symbol implies that you need to know when to stop, rest, and recuperate. Regardless of how much one has to do, it's no crime to stop to regain your strength. You needn't sacrifice your opportunity to rest for someone else. Everyone is entitled to their share of peace and pleasure. Yes, everyone is. I don't care who you are or what you've done. Everyone's entitled to have some peace and enjoyment in life at some point. Granted, if you're just this like serious villain character just constantly doing fucked up shit, you need to get right. You know what I mean? You need to get right. But even so, how are you going to get right if you're constantly being persecuted and tortured and tormented all the time? You can't. So that just perpetuates evil. Like, I don't understand. People don't understand this. We need rehabilitation, not punishment. Punishment doesn't do anything. It makes shit worse. Granted, you know, sometimes someone deserves to get punched in the fucking face. I will say that. They really do. But beat to a bloody pulp, no. No. Although for some people to get like cathartic like therapy for some horrible shit somebody did to them, they might need to do that in like a simulation, like a VR game or some shit. I don't know. Or a punching bag with their face on it. You know what I mean? Like, okay. You needn't sacrifice your opportunity to rest for someone else. Everyone is entitled to their share of peace and pleasure. How about lounging around and taking it easy for a change? Sometimes you need a chance to daydream. Detachment, abandonment, having too much to do to be able to rest, sleeping difficulties, planning for days off or retirement, having permission to stop. So this is a good energy that was imbued to the collective. The caution, deliberately pushing yourself when in need of rest or not being involved in life's complexities, laying around and doing nothing, being a lounge lizard. Yeah, so there's got to be a balance. It's okay to lay around and do nothing and be a lounge lizard sometimes, but not like all the time. You got to do stuff sometimes. Otherwise, you're going to get blood clots, you're going to get bed sores. You know, you got to do shit. You just got to. All right, Saturn in Aquarius in the 6th. A masked figure performs ritualistic acts in a mystery play. This symbol shows the ability or the need to be theatrical, convey a story, put on a show, get messages across to others. Mystery plays portrayed archetypal stories from the Bible, often performed in Latin. Performers traveled the countryside, entertaining and teaching with drama as well as humor. Sometimes the mystery play can show that things are not quite as they seem. That's kind of what I've been doing. Mysteries can play a big part in your life, along with issues of wearing masks, and that's been brought up a lot with all the mask wearers. Is someone being a masked figure? You know, the only other artwork that I've really done, I don't know if I brought this up before, but the only other artwork I've ever done besides the eyes I was working on, I haven't finished it, is an image of the energy just dropped in here as if like, should I say this? Should I not? Let me just see whose energy that is, because that's funny to me. Yeah, 2 people saying no, 1 person saying yes. Maybe I shouldn't, actually. I don't know. Let me see. Hitchhiker Picker Upper is the one who said yes, and in reverse. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means, but okay. Who's saying no? A teenager. Okay. And who else is saying no? A house cleaner? What a joke. Okay. I'm pretty sure I've already shared this anyway, but... House cleaner. I need a house cleaner. I wish I had a house cleaner. Like, my house has, like, if you've played The Sims before, there's, like, lot challenges. My house has, like, a dirty and broken lot challenge or something. Like, no matter how much you clean, it becomes dirty, like, 5 seconds later. Or it's, like, impossible to clean. And then shit just constantly getting broken and everything else. That could have something to do with that whole Percy Jackson thing, though, where, like, the mom had to date the scumbag guy and they had to live in, like, that shitty energy to protect him. There might be something, like, with that. I don't know. Anyway, so... whatever. I'm not gonna share it. I'll just, I guess, because like Spirit wants me to finish it and then show people. Maybe I'm not really sure. Okay, is someone being a masked figure? You may find that sometimes you are not shown the true face of people or situations. Look to see who the performers are in this mystery. Are you part of the play or are you in the audience? Perhaps you need to be cautious in what you reveal. Rituals, shamanism, archetypes of personality, masks that veil, mystery, drama, banditry, smoke screens, doing the technical but not the emotional, comedy, acting. Caution. Deceptive or neurotic performances, unwilling to admit to changing times, not knowing who the players are, what the plot is. Caution. Cautious revealing tricks employees. Yeah. So there's just this energy of like performances going on, masked people, which I feel like I've been unveiling a lot of that, the workings of it, which is not easy for me to do because I have so many NPCs in my life who like to 5150 people, and yeah, that's what they did to my mom. Okay, Uranus in Aries in the 25th degree. A double promise reveals its inner and outer meanings. This symbol shows that what at first appears to be This symbol shows that what at first appears to be may reveal itself to actually be something else. Simple promises can be more complicated than first thought. The rational and emotional responses can conflict with each other. One wants something, the other wants something else. Excuse me. I had a bleep. Okay. However, this can be the way to really view things from an inner and an outer perspective. Also indicates the choice that arises of the heart and of social obligation. Realize the implications of expectations and promises. There may be a reward involved, promises, something that may look good on the outside but have a different meaning on the inside. Look back to pledges made. The caution, fickleness, insincerity, and two-facedness in human relationships. Promising more than can be delivered, not turning up, having hidden agendas. So this is a big theme that's been going on in my life. And it's interesting, it comes out in the Uranus, which this water that we're talking about, the moon water, is in Aquarius in the 11th house, which is Uranus energy, right? So the first thing I'm thinking of is the Leo King, or DLP as I've called him, or spiritual guru, whatever. Lancelot, he's lots of things, okay? He was saying something about Jupiter making lots of promises and not keeping them. And I found it funny. Somebody in the comments misheard him, I guess, and made like laughing faces, and they're like, that hit me hard when you said, he said it way better than whatever I'm saying, but the person in the comments thought that Leo King was saying Pluto. And I thought that was interesting. I don't think Pluto really makes promises to anybody like that. Maybe. I don't know. Well, Pluto's like scorpionic energy. It's that depth. It's ruled by Hades, but also Mars. So, one of the sigils that the wax fell on in the candle trial I did, for any family or anybody claiming to be my family that has betrayed me, stabbed me in the back, sought malice on me, etc., for judgment to be called on them. And one of the sigils that got activated was Scorpio. Another one was the 12th house. Scorpio was big. 12th house, very little. And then Cassiel, which is Capricorn energy. So I found that interesting. And then because I usually run a trial on myself at the same time, you know, with the mirror and everything. And so I did that for myself as well. And for me, it fell on Anael, or Venus, and Mars, which is Samael. Okay. 'Cause, 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 I think it was mainly Mars though that I fell on, that was activated for me. Now I'm not quite sure like what that really means in the context of the trial. Sometimes I can like kind of like figure something out, but with this I'm like a little like I don't know, I'm not 100%, but maybe eventually it'll come to me. Otherwise it's whatever, you know. Okay. The rational and emotional responses can conflict with each other. Blah, blah, blah. There may be a reward involved, promises. Oh, and then the other thing with the promises is like, I made a promise a long time ago, and I basically got like forced or coerced into getting an abortion, which I'm very against. This was in, I think, 2014. Yeah. And, it was with my kid's father that I was pregnant. And he refused to get a job. He was abusing me. And I was living in the basement. I shouldn't have gotten pregnant, obviously. But, like, you know, we've gone over this already. Like, sometimes, you know, people don't have choices with things. Their brain's not developed fully yet. They're not aware. Also, they have contracts and fate is involved. They have contracts that they signed up for before they came here. You know, there's beings that need to be born at certain times for whatever reason. Like, I think I was contracted, I had to have 3 kids with him. Because eventually, regardless, I still had to have another kid with him. And then he died shortly after that. Literally 2 months after he was born. So, so basically, these energies were just trying to postpone the inevitable because that was like part of the bigger picture going on, that like we had to have these 3 children, and then he was supposed to pass away and then be reborn as something else, and then the story was going to go on from there. But yeah, basically like my stepsister was pregnant at the same time, and like nobody had a problem with her having a kid. But for me, it was like, you need to get rid of it. It's not even a baby. It's just a clump of cells and blah, 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 blah. And like, oh, it was just awful. And then his wife brought me, and on her phone the whole time, like didn't even give a fuck. I'm like traumatized. After that happened, I was in a downward spiral, like you would not believe. I don't even know like how I came back from that, honestly. But it was bad. Every time I saw a baby, every time, like, I was just fucked up, okay? And, you know, and then after it happened, like, I literally, like, had to have a bucket, because I was in the basement. I had to have a bucket, because I was just gushing blood, like, every 5 minutes. And then, like, my dad, had, like, these Tylenol pills, like, special pills from his, I think he had surgery or something, I don't know. It was like stronger Tylenol or something, and I was like, can I please like have one? And then she was like talking shit, like saying like, she's just being dramatic, she doesn't need that, she's fine, and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, you're an awful human being if you'll even call yourself that. You're awful. And he is too, for just like being, he didn't give a fuck, like didn't stick up for me, nothing. Like, but anyway, I promised myself that I would quit smoking. I don't know why, like necessarily why. I guess because like I kind of felt like I lost my mom due to the smoking, and I already had 2 kids, and I was like, and granted, I wasn't smoking while I was pregnant. This was like afterwards, after the abortion, I started smoking cigarettes again at some point, and then I was like, I need to stop, like. And I just, that kind of came to me as like, you know, I need to stop smoking in honor of this child that I basically sacrificed. You know, because like my mom was like a chain smoker, and then she like died from cancer. Well, supposedly, because I've explained that whole story too, how like my brother brought her to one hospital, they said she was fine, she just needed a mental health evaluation. Then he brought her to another one, and they said she had stage 4 cancer, whatever the last stage is, stage 4, stage 5, I don't know. Basically, she was gonna die very soon, is what they said. Found out on Halloween. She died on November 28th. So, 2005, yeah. And, so, don't know, I was just thinking that the day of the week as well. I remember looking that up. The day of the week that I found out is something with the day of the ruling angel. Is it Raphael? I think it's Raphael, which is interesting because that's in the... I don't know if y'all look up the date. There's something about that angel that rules that day. Because that letter that I posted on my IG, the name Raphael's in there. So there's something weird with that. But anyway, I made that promise, and then, like, I basically didn't keep the promise because that was, like, my crutch to lean on, because it kind of, like, always reminded me of my mom because she smoked all the time, and then it also made me feel like I was being protected by my ancestors because the tobacco is, like, the Native American, but they poison it with so much chemicals and stuff, and it's, like, nearly impossible to find pure tobacco. And so, you know, it may have been helping to some extent in some ways, but it was definitely doing more harm than good. But I was basically punishing myself instead. Like, I felt like I didn't deserve to uphold that promise. It felt insignificant compared to what I gave up. Like, it felt like that was not enough, and it was just, yeah, I don't know how else to word it. Hopefully you get what I'm saying, but whatever. Anyway, and then I kept seeing this truck over the years. It says helping people keep their promises, and it kept, like, reminding me about it. So it's interesting that this came up. Neptune in Aquarius in the 29th, a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. The symbol shows the ability or the necessity of growing, expanding, escaping restrictions. I had to do a big burp. I had to pause it. I know a lot of people just burp on camera. I'm not really into that. Okay. It makes me laugh though sometimes when people do. I don't know. All right, escaping restrictions. What does that shirt say down there? Church sound guy? It's kind of funny. Okay. And evolving into a more expansive sense of self with bigger and better potentials. At times in your life, often crossroads or major turning points, you are likely to be able to realize many of your latent but promising potentials. Like an awakening, you are suddenly able to do something that truly reflects you and who you strive to be. This emergence builds for some time, and metamorphosis takes place. Ensure that you take a moment to adjust to new developments before taking flight. Oh, I wanted to finish. I'm sorry, guys. I have to... It's like people are asking me questions about what I was just saying, and I forgot a couple things, so I'm just going to answer the questions right now, and then hopefully it'll be done with. Okay, I had brought up this whole abortion thing in the past, and I think on my IG I briefly mentioned it with the Charlie guy, because at the time I was friends with Charlie and talking to him, because over the years I had not seen him in person since I was 11 years old, but I have talked to him over the years various times, usually very short periods. Anyway, he was basically telling me to get an abortion. He was like very like trying to convince me hardcore, right? He was one of the people. And then my dad and his wife were like very adamant about it, and basically they told me that if I didn't get it, I had to leave. And because I had such a shitty job, because my kid's father refused to get a job and was abusing me, he hit me to the ground. I fell to the floor, and he was kicked me in the back of the head so hard that I lost my vision for like a good maybe 10 minutes. That had never happened to me before. And I just felt like I had to, like, I just felt like I had no other choice, and that like the baby was probably gonna come out really fucked up, and like he had abused me with my other two children as well, but like not like that. I mean, my first son was pretty bad, but it wasn't like I don't know, it was just different. I don't know how to explain it. And it's a lot to do too with the cruelty, the shunning energy and stuff like that. And it was like, and then when I tried to talk to him about it, it was like he's like tried to act like he didn't want me to, but then he was also like, I felt nothing from him about it. Like he didn't really have anything to say. And then he was just like, bye, buddy, and put his hand on my belly or something. I was like, wow. Yeah. So, weak and insensitive. Insensitive and weak. Yeah. And then his book, I was just drawn to his book that, you know, like I've told you guys before, like I got some of his books. One of them is Dragon's Vanished Moon by Wes. What is it? 3 years ago I brought this up. For some reason this came up. Weiss and Hickman, Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. The War of Souls. 3 years ago this came up for some reason, and I felt like there was something weird with this because I came up with this kind of theory how, like, when you read certain books, there can be spells on them, and it almost traps you inside of the story. Which actually it kind of makes sense because, like, my mom would read these fairy tales to me every day when I was little as bedtime stories, and then I ended up kind of getting sucked into, like, these fairy tales throughout my life. Which, you know, it's kind of interesting. So, like, I'm not 100% complaining, but it's been awful at the same time. Like, a fucking nightmare. I'm hoping, you know, I still have, like, a little bit of hope. Shouldn't probably even say that because people are, like, automatically going to be like, ooh, where's my straw? You know? But I still have some kind of hope that, like, maybe I'll have a fucking happy ending someday. But most likely, you know, I'm a realist at the end of the day. And like I said, I have a scientific mind. So it's like when this stuff happens enough times, I'm 36 years old. Like, you know, like when's the nightmare going to end? At this point, I'm pretty sure it's not. So, but like I said, I still have like a mustard seed of faith or mustard seed of hope or whatever you want to fucking call it. But I have just so many people working against me, and it's not easy. And then, you know, money problems is extremely difficult. Lack of resources. Things breaking on me all the time. Yeah. Whatever. Okay. So, a butterfly merging with the chrysalis. The symbol shows... Okay, where were we? I don't even know. Did I even really read this? I don't think I... Okay, we're going to read it again. Even if a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. This symbol shows the ability or the necessity of growing, expanding, escaping restrictions, and evolving into a more expansive sense of self with bigger and better potentials. At times in your life, often crossroads or major turning points, you are likely to be able to realize many of your latent but promising potentials. Like an awakening, you are suddenly able to do something that truly reflects you and who you strive to be. This emergence builds for some time, a metamorphosis takes place. Ensure that you take a moment to adjust to new developments before taking flight. Slow building of confidence, coming out into a fuller participation, growing up and out. Leaving yesterday behind, leaving restrictions, blossoming and blooming, emergence, the caution, failing to allow for changes, feeling like one will never arrive, too much containment and confinement, unable to move, being tied to the past, straitjackets. Yeah, it's like exactly what I was just talking about. So, okay. Pluto and Capricorn in the first. An Indian chief claims recognition and power from the assembled tribe. This symbol shows the necessity or the ability to be strong, stand tall, be in charge, and command respect. There are leadership issues that need to be embraced and addressed. Sometimes we need to rise to the occasion and take charge. I really gotta fix my posture because my spine is like so messed up. Oh my god. Okay. Sometimes we need to rise to the occasion and take charge, and this may lead to a struggle for control. You may have to remind those around you that you can be trusted and make decisions or lead others. I've been trying to do. At times in your life, those above you may remind you of your lesser position in the scheme of things. This can happen if others are jealous of your achievements and power. Yeah. Always know when to give way to the rights of others, assuming authority, finding a sense of place, charisma, respect, standing up in the crowd, staking one's claim, being voted in, popularity contests, benevolence. The caution, power struggles, overinflated view of oneself, a sense of entitlement, egotistical responses, taking over, too many chiefs, lording it over others. Alright. Next, we have North Node in Pisces in the 28th, a fertile garden under the full moon. This symbol shows the ability or the need to be able to enjoy nature and to enjoy the fruits of your life, your country, your culture. There's often a sense that one has all that's needed and emotions running high. The fertile garden signifies that you have things that you need at your disposal. Yes, and I do believe in that like there's enough abundance to go around. It's just being gatekept by a lot of people. So that's the problem, is there's a lot of gatekeeping and threatening going on. Lording power over others and stuff like that. Like, there's not... Yeah. It's the fucking gatekeepers. Okay. This symbol has a strong clairvoyant sense to it, with the ability to pick up on subtle energies and life forms in the environment. You'll get a lot of opportunities to be able to enjoy the moment, but keep a sense of equilibrium, as soon the energy will be on the wane and you'll have to get back to more practical everyday tasks. Fullness and fertility, peak experiences, brilliantly active subconscious life, cycles, the effects of the moon, Mother Nature's gifts, the full moon, nature sprites, gardens, the caution, jealous protection, too many possibilities, psychic confusion, difficulty sleeping or shutting down the mind, missed opportunities, and night shadows. Oh, look at a bald-headed man. Oh my god. A bald-headed man who has seized power. This pictures a time to seize power, and this is South Node. This pictures a time to seize power and push forward with decisions that need to be grounded now. It is by force of will that the solution will be found, but one must be careful to temper the situation, as displays of masculine will can get out of hand very quickly. Yeah. Dominating others' mental space in order to be in control. Male hormones running rampant. The story of Samson and his hair... Oh, I don't know what that is. What is that? Uniforms, the caution, pushing too hard, too fast, ramming one's convictions, being demanding and bossy, power tripping. Let me Google that. Oh, the elect of the living God kept bringing up Samson and Delilah, and I didn't look it up, so maybe there's something like with that, but let me see. Samson, a biblical... Oh, God. See, the problem with me with my posture is, like, when I straighten my back out, it pushes my chest down, and people think I'm, like, trying to, like, show my boobs, and it's, like... And I've been, like, bullied about my boobs my whole life. Like, you can't wear cleavage. I literally got kicked out of a homeless shelter because I was wearing a tank top and because I had big boobs. I was 6 months pregnant, and so my boobs were, like, up here and, like, you know... And it was hot. It was, like, 80 degrees, and there was no air conditioning. I was wearing a tank top, and they ended up kicking me out because she's like, you can't wear that. There's going to be a male here soon. And I stood up against her. I was like... What somebody else thinks sexually of me is not my concern when it comes to me being comfortable in my attire. You know, if I was wearing, like, something provocative, like lingerie or something, I could see that. But, you know, like, get a grip, man. These people are sick. And they call themselves godly people. They call themselves followers of Christ and everything. Like, she was, like, the caretaker of the pastor's house, which was turned into 2 apartments, and, like, because he lived in his own house. So she lived on the bottom floor, and then there was an empty apartment on the top that they allowed like homeless church members to live in. And then the homeless program I was in, where you go from church to church, had us go to this place was signed up to be one of the churches. So we were there with like random other people that were a part of their church. There wasn't supposed to be like single men at all, like in the program, but because they had them there or whatever. So yeah, calling judgment on that bitch. I fucking hate her. And the director that kicked me out, she got a call while she was on vacation. If I get one more call about Tara, because the last time people complained because I wouldn't eat their chicken because they served us raw chicken. I was like, I'm pregnant. You serve me raw chicken. And they serve us chicken 5 days in a row. I was like, dude, my kids aren't eating. And like, I need fucking diversity in my diet. Like, I don't want chicken. And I feel grossed out by it because I just got served raw chicken the night before. Like, get the fuck out of here. And I was pregnant. I was being bitchy. Like, but I did not be bitchy. Like, I was nice and kind about it. And I tried explaining to them. And I went to Burger King and got like stuff off the dollar menu. And they fucking called and complained about me. And then this dumb bitch at the pastor's house. This is Family Promise, by the way, if anyone wants to hold them accountable, because they're scumbags. Yep. They kicked me out on the street while I was pregnant. With 2 kids. Okay, anyway. Alright, Samson, a biblical judge with superhuman strength given by God, was set apart as a Nazirite, which meant he could never cut his hair. After revealing this secret to Delilah, she had his hair shorn while he slept, causing his strength to leave him and leading to his capture by the Philistines. Samson told Delilah that his strength was tied to his uncut hair, which was the sign of his Nazirite vow. Yeah, there's something with the hair. There's a huge thing with the hair. That's why people that are like chic or something, chic. There was this kid in my class, Ranjit or whatever. He always had a turban on, and like he wouldn't tell us why because it's a big secret. There's something with the hair, like you can't cut your hair, and there's something like with the movie Avatar, like your hair is like how it connects to like the creatures they ride or whatever. It's like your psychic stuff. And then there's the whole thing of like, you know, that I've talked about before, where if somebody touches your head and they're aware, they know about this or whatever, they could steal your power if they know how to do it. They could steal your power by touching your head. And they can also use your hair for witchcraft and all that. So it's good every so often to burn a piece of your hair to break whatever curses people are trying to put on you. Which I need to do, actually. Okay. I just heard something weird when I turned my head. I was like, it's like my ear. I don't even know what's going on. Okay. And there's a lot going on outside with Hermes and stuff. Alright, the secret. Samson told Delilah that his strength was tied to his uncut hair, which was a sign of his Nazirite vow. So does that mean when people are bald, they don't have power? Or is it now like it's in the reverse? The Philistines gouged out Samson's eyes, bound him with bronze, and forced him to grind grain in prison. Oh my god. While in prison, Samson's hair began to grow back. During a Philistine celebration at their temple, a weakened Samson asked God for strength one last time, breaking the pillars and collapsing the building, killing himself along with his enemies. That's really sad. Damn. Oh, there's that song like, Hey There, Delilah. Hey there, Delilah. What's it like in New York City? Oh. Is there something there with the whole thing with New York City and them stealing my people's land and Delilah? Fucking bitch. But what's up with this bald-headed guy stuff? Like, the Anthony bald-headed guy, the Jeff Bezos, who people are saying is the cowboy in reverse that we've talked about a lot. He's a space cowboy. That's what Carterville, one of his songs, was saying. He's like, he's the cowboy, not me, in reverse, not me. Because I was like, is it you that's the cowboy in reverse? Oh, and this reminded me of vampires. If you know, you know. But something bit me on my neck 2 nights ago. Not last night, the night before. I don't know if you could see it, but it's the same kind of red mark, and there's actually 2 bumps right next to each other, like a baby vampire mouse, like if it was in its bat form. Or I have like a giant spider, if we want to be logical and muggle about it, okay? Is there like a giant spider that just keeps biting me? I don't know. But then I also have on my hip, it's like spaced apart like this, and it's still there. Like 2 or 3 weeks later, you can still see it. So there's definitely something. This is, I think, where they drain adrenochrome from people. Right here. It's like literally like fang marks, and it hurts. It's not zit. I tried like popping it. Like if it was zit, blood came out. Like it's not a zit. And I'm very clean. Like I'm always putting tea tree oil on myself, and like, you know, just like I'm always like trying to clean myself. And yeah. Very weird. Alright. What's it about? Death in reverse. So it could be like Spider Grandma, like coming to me in my sleep and like trying to drain out toxins from me. It could be something like that. But it could also be a vampire that's trying not to die, that needs my blood. But like, I feel like they would only be allowed to if I allowed them. But like, I don't have any memory of this, and I don't really like know what's going on. Then there's that reading I did where it said like my person is a vampire, and then I saw that like giant bat in the abandoned building. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Alright, so okay. There's that. Next, Pisces 22, a prophet bringing down the new law from the mountain. This symbol shows the ability or the need to be able to live life by a new set of new laws, or to make a new set of laws that better suits your life and your place in the scheme of things. This pictures situations of revelations of spirit and truth. Excuse me. International Forensic. What is that down there? Alright, where were I have like really bad pain in my hip right now. I feel like somebody has like a voodoo doll of me and they're just like stabbing. You know? But it's whatever. 100. 100 on point. Yeah, probably. It is important to manifest these truths and laws. I'm feeling my brother's energy again coming at me. Bitch, get out of my energy. Get out of my energy. Listen, I hold no grudges towards you, and I don't wish anybody to persecute you. I just want you to leave me alone. But if you are doing some weird, vile shit in the background, you definitely need to be, like, taken care of, okay? Otherwise, like, leave me alone. Hold on. I'm gonna pull a justice card for this because I'm getting really annoyed. It's creepy. It's just, like, creepy AF. You are being kept behind the scenes to protect someone else. Top-heavy structure shifts as people reclaim influence. Power imbalance. Top-heavy structure shifts as people reclaim influence. On the bottom of the deck in reverse, soul contract revision, renegotiate spiritual agreements tied to justice or suffering in reverse. So we're not renegotiating shit. There will be no negotiations. It's called bye-bye. Alright, so as far as this goes, you know, like I made that charter thing that I've shown you guys or talked about like a million times. This. We, the peoples of Earth, remembering our origin as living beings of Earth, sky, and star, declare that no state, corporation, institution, or unseen power may claim ownership over our bodies, our movement, our land, our waters, our stories, or our future. We recognize Earth as a sentient ecosystem and multi-dimensional stargate body, and ourselves as its guardians and co-creators. On this basis, we assert the following rights, responsibilities, and structures for a sovereign, regenerative, and peaceful civilization. I posted this whole thing. I don't know if anybody can see it, because I think my channel is just being completely blocked and they're just, I don't know what's going on. I know people are seeing it somehow because they're responding to it in their videos or whatever. Some of the stuff I'm saying. But I can't see that anybody's seeing it. Which is probably for the best anyways, because I have, you know, it might freak me out a little bit. I don't really care at this point, but it's not easy for me to do this or to share anything publicly. God damn, I need to go to the gym. I need to go to the hot tub again. I can't go today though, it's closed already. I need to go back there. I wish I had my own hot tub. Alright. Where were we? Although the basic principles of our laws may stay the same, the specifics will vary in order to accommodate the changing perceptions of people over time. Excuse me. At times in your life, you may find new laws to live by, or you could be the one to bring these rules to others. Revolutions, yeah. Revelations, channeling information, truths revealed, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Ten Commandments, laying down the law, the Ark of the Covenant, future planning. That's what we've been doing. Okay. Or trying to do. The caution, being told what to do, believing one has all the answers, or believing someone else. Rigid application of dogmatic laws, bureaucracy, laws set in stone. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do is stand up against those who claim to have this absolute power over myself and others, and not be afraid of whatever might happen. Is it scary to do this? Yes. But, you know, it's okay to be scared, but, like, courage is, like, even if you're scared, you still do the thing, you know. Have I gotten fucked every step of the way in my life? Physically, mentally, spiritually. Yeah, pretty much. Any chance someone's gotten to steal from me, assert their authority over me or whatever, they've taken that pretty much every single time. Yeah, I feel like I am being shielded a lot more now. I think it's because I tried my best to purify myself as much as I can and to start speaking out, but I'm not really sure. So, okay. A group of young people sit in spiritual communion around a grandfather fire. What? I was gonna say like a grandfather. When grandpa come in here, like what? I pulled from. I pulled from the What's It About. It says nonprofit and civil society leaders in reverse. All right. So this symbol implies the desire or the need to be with others who share similar feelings. Yeah, it's like what I was saying last night to myself. I was like, you know, I could be sitting around a fire with cool people who give a shit about the people and earth and stuff, but instead I'm sitting here eating shitty food by myself, being bored and lonely. Okay, hold on. Alright, I had to give my Wii One a charger. But yeah, and then that, you know, obviously is gonna make people like, well, you have kids, so why don't you hang out with them? They don't want to hang out with me, okay? They only like to hang out with men, because they've been trained by the patriarchy to not like women, just like pretty much every other fucking guy on this planet. My youngest is a little sweetheart, don't get me wrong, okay, but he can be like, he's definitely been brainwashed quite a bit. All three of my kids have, especially my oldest is pretty bad with it, with the gaslighting and the lying and the disrespect. They're definitely not the prototypical or atypical bullies, you know, that have been bullying them and bullying me. They're not like that, but they can be very disrespectful, and you know, my youngest is like attached to me and wants to be around me a lot, and wants to hang out with me sometimes and stuff, but when we play together, it's more like it's just all about him, and like he doesn't really want to include me, like he doesn't want me to, it's just whatever he wants to do, and like he doesn't really want to ever do what I want to do when we're playing. Like say we're playing Minecraft, like I want to build a castle and I want to like do whatever, or like go on an adventure. He just wants to fight me, like battle me like the whole time and kick my ass, because if I were to fight him and beat him, he would get mad and throw a tantrum. So it's like that. Okay? So, anyway. But I would say overall my kids are sweethearts in their heart of hearts, okay? They're just, unfortunately, they've just been brainwashed by toxic men. Alright. There's a group of people who share, let's see, there's a common focus here amongst the group that opens up to creative and enlivening possibilities. There may be the feeling of being out there in the wilderness, and you may be in some way, whether you're miles from anywhere or you've been brought together, I think it meant to say, by something very unique or unusual. It may be important to keep in mind that you don't have to be going alone. There is a group of people who share the same beliefs and concerns. Gathering with them will lift your spirits. The campfire can be anything that unites people in a common cause. That's funny, because Deadeye Two Tongues always says the internet campfire. Yeah, I wish there was a real campfire with people, like-minded people that I can hang out with, but yeah. Material concerns left behind, pioneer, okay, unity, fellowship, campfires, sweat lodges, having a common focus. Seems like the only people that come in my life in real life are like haters, or like witches and warlocks that are like, you know, on this, if you've played The Sims, there's the vampire that like, there's walk styles of the way that the Sims can walk that you could choose from. One of them's called a creepy walk, and it's from the Vampire Pack, and they go like this, and they're like real creepy and like hunched over, like that's how they walk. And like I see people like that all the time, and my oldest kind of walks like that a lot. Not throwing shade at him, I'm not trying to make fun of my kid, but like he be doing that, okay? And I try to like be like, dude, like please stop doing that. Oh my god, he doesn't listen to me. Material concerns left behind, pioneering, the caution, being too dependent on others, feeling left out, having to fend for oneself, rejecting fellowship because of feeling lost or alone, obsession with objectives. Okay. Vesta in Taurus, a person in middle life stands in rapt, sudden realization of forgotten charms and unexpected recovery of romance. This is a wonderful symbol of second chances of romance, love, passion, and starting over in life. Even when it feels like all chance of wonderful things have passed by, something comes back into your life, and it can be inspiring, delicious, and revivifying. I can't say that. However, it's best not to be swept off your feet and misguided by overreaction, nor is it a good idea to just take whatever you can get, thinking nothing better will ever come along. Yes, do not settle. Analyzing your options in a mature fashion, you'll have that was like my problem for a long time. It was just like, I was also like hyping people up way too much. Like, I would see the best in them, but it wasn't actually like how they were living their life at all. So, oh, that's cute. Down here says, I love you to the spoon and back. Thanks, universe, if that's a message for me or collective or whatever. People watching. So, I would just over embellish or over inflate people's characters, and it wasn't like really how they were presenting themselves at all. They were more in their dark side, and it's just they weren't what I needed, and they weren't for me, and I just didn't realize it, and I was just so desperate and hungry for love too, but I was also running off of impulse, like not necessarily impulse, I would say instinct, because like I said, there's like things where it's like fated, there's things where it's like a mission, it's a part of your mission, it's a contract, like the quote about killing swine that I said the other day. So, see, step-by-step instructions, yeah. So, next time before you call someone a HWORE, because I don't even want to say that word anymore, maybe consider all the good that could come out of whatever. You know what I mean? Activations and stuff like that, okay? Y'all want to activate your sleeper cells on me, huh? Tables turn, people learn, right? Alright, nor is it a good idea to just take whatever you can get, thinking nothing better will ever come along. Analyzing your options in a mature fashion, you'll have a deep understanding of what is possible, and you can choose to be involved for the right reasons. Finding a renewal of love, knowledge, interest when it looked like all the opportunities had passed. Second chances, finding something to be passionate about, awakenings, the caution, denying the right to emotional expression. I just heard a high-pitched ringing in my left, coming from my left side. And the pressure, the air pressure's changing. When you close a door and it goes like beep. Just happened. Feeling too old and not worthy of being loved, giving up on life, being skeptical. Yeah, okay. Chiron, this is an important one. A prophet bringing down the new law from the mountain. Okay, this is the same thing that we just said about the laws, so this is just like a double emphasis of that energy, okay? I'm just looking at this ad down here. It's like weird. Okay. This symbol implies the beginning stages of things that are growing to become something wonderful, useful, and worthwhile. That'd be great. Things are always growing and perfecting, and it seems that your position is just beginning to take shape and the potential is enormous. But there needs to be care and accuracy taken, or all the work to date could be lost or spoilt. Excuse me. This situation has taken a long time to develop and comes from a deep organic essence. Keep cutting away the unnecessary and the flawed, and you'll emerge with a wonderful gem, as this symbol implies riches and talent and beauty. Coming to terms with inner worth, emerging perfection, beauty that is a bit rough around the edges, chopping or grinding away to get to the essential truth, potential, or reality. The caution, leaving important jobs unfinished, being afraid to take the first stab at a project or issue, only seeing the flaws. Someone lacking social polish and overprotective. So what I was just thinking of is the movie Lucky Number 11, and then also that I need to make sure I finish, because I've had this issue my whole life, like pretty much not finishing anything I've started. Yes, there's definitely been stuff I've finished, but a lot of stuff has gone unfinished due to, you know, circumstances and my willpower being shot out or shot to hell or whatever. Shot into the abyss of nothingness. So, you know, that's important here. And it's reminding me of my superhero thing, which, you know, it's like getting a little, like, I have a hard time with, like, repetitive things. I have a hard time with schedules. I really don't care for any of that. So it's hard for me to I'm trying to get to 144 because that's the frequency. I'm, like, kind of almost done. I think we got, like, oh, geez, I don't even know where it is. I don't know. We got, like maybe 15 left or something. But, you know, it's hard for me because, like, I get bored really easily, and, like, I feel like other people are bored of it and don't appreciate it. Or at least that's what I've been conditioned to believe with anything I do. So this whole thing has been very hard for me to do. But I'm doing it for a higher purpose in mind, and it is what it is. Okay. So that might help somebody else who's struggling with the same thing. I don't know. Hopefully. That's, like, you know, that's the goal here. Wanting to be the first at everything, caution, allowing where are we? A swimming race. You may find yourself in competition over emotional issues or working your way through shared emotions and hoping to win or to come out on top. It is through training and practice and the controlled use of your emotions that success can be achieved. It is this experience that you must call on now. Work hard at achieving the win for rewards in the larger picture. Club, school, country, or for winning the race, leaving purely personal gains behind may be the answer. Yeah. Looking sideways to see how others are coping with the strain of competition, competing with one's emotions, wanting to be the first at everything. The caution, allowing the competitive spirit to dominate emotional sensitivity, always going for the win. Yeah, that's a huge problem in this world, is like everybody's constantly competing. We've talked about this so many times, is this competition energy and people going for people's throats at all costs, winning at all costs, and they're not being empathetic. They're not considering anything, the bigger picture, or, you know, what's best in this situation. For humanity to grow, heal, and evolve. Most people don't give a shit about that, and they're just worried about themselves and coming out on top and clout and all this other dumb crap that doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. So let me see. Hold on. I'm not sure what this message is. Alright, I don't know. I just felt like pulling from one of the decks. It said nonprofit and civil society leaders in reverse who are also grave diggers in reverse. They don't dig graves, they cremate people and put them in boxes. They judge harshly and unreasonably, unfairly. So when talking about the competitions, they're judging these competitions unfairly and harshly. The winners shouldn't be winners, basically. It has something to do with like people dressing themselves in others' energies that are actually winning and then pretending to be the winners and then taking their winnings on the spiritual plane. Which reminded me of that movie that came out, the Pixar one with the jazz guy. There's this soul that doesn't ever want to incarnate. And there's something like where you can see when people are in their flow state and then you could like trip them or like mess with them. There's something like with that. Okay. Wait. Alright, the Pope blessing the faithful. This symbol... I just saw the science fiction card came out on the floor. So there's something like with that. I wasn't going to say anything, but then I felt energy. Like, you say something, bitch. Okay, say it. They also often have a powerful presence and charisma. Ritual, someone high up acknowledging and rewarding. Rewards of loyalty, bonuses, the source of enormous inner riches, power and its responsibility, seeking absolution. So, like, there's this thing with the Pope being, like, and the, oh my God, what is it called? The, hold on. I don't know, I can't think of the name of it. Whatever the freaking place, the Vatican, there we go. Okay, now I just thought of it. Okay. So there's this whole thing with it being like this evil organization or whatever, but for some reason this is talking about it in more of a positive way, I guess. This symbol often shows a spokesperson that will be heard by everyone. Oh, the idea of the Pope recently was like demonstrated on social media or like the news. And there's an image that I saw of like Donald Trump using Jesus' tears, and it was like right after I had shed tears. I was thinking of something that happened involving DLP, okay? And like, I didn't want to shed tears or anything. It just happened, okay? And it was just weird because like a lot of people were saying like he died or something, and I was like, so I was like, that's weird. And then there's the whole thing with like, I'm like the story I told about the airport when I was like 15 or 16, and I was driving in the car. I was the passenger in the car with that person. I think his name was David, and he was like a e-dealer or whatever. And then we got lost, and then I was like the navigator. Like, I was rolling on e-pills, and actually I think they were laced with acid, which is crazy because he brought up something in one of the last videos that he did, or yeah, one of the last ones, I don't know which one, but we were talking about the first person that did acid or something, and they were on a bike. And it was crazy because once we finally got back to my house, I got us home. I saw, this is when I first started tripping, I saw bullet symbols, like crosshairs, all flying through. I've told this story before. I think I even told him before. I don't know. I don't remember. But, oh my God, my brain. I was like, I'm thinking like 7 things at the same time. It's like so hard. Okay. Anyway, so I saw all of that. I saw these crosshair things like floating through the sky like neon colors, and all of a sudden I saw this guy in a mountain bike in a purple sweatshirt, and then he like floated into the air, and I was like, what the fuck is this? So that was really crazy. But anyway, so it was like he was like the pilot or something. I think me and him had a contract before we came here. I think we were like spiritually married or something, because the first time I ever saw him I felt like a ring on my finger. And I think we had some kind of contract or whatever, but then like everything got fucked up, and I honestly don't really know, but because then there's also the astrology thing where like the shit repeats itself, like it's something Saturn, like with Saturn, like every it's in the High Magic, the Doctrine and Ritual of High Magic by Eliphas Levi. He talks about it. I don't remember exactly what it is, but basically you'll experience the same thing repeatedly every so often, every number of years. It will just be like in a little bit of a different way. And then very recently I experienced like the same thing, except I was driving, but it was like I could feel his energy, like his hands on my hands. And my GPS went out and my phone service. I couldn't call anyone. I couldn't use Google. And I got myself home though, fine. But it was really scary. I was like really scared. And he could have like, you know, made me fucking crash or whatever. So, I don't know, it was like a trust exercise almost, or like a Jesus takes the wheel situation, but it was also like a repeating of something that happened in the past. But anyway, I think he was like the original co-pilot of my ship that I've talked about before. But because there was all this like fuckery and like interference and stuff, that just didn't happen. And then like I was guided by a source or higher power, whatever. I had to choose somebody, and then I kind of made this other choice, but it's more like the protector of mankind, whoever that is, you know. Whether that be the specific person I had in mind, but I don't really know, because I'm not really getting much from them. It's like a little bit of stuff here and there, but it's like I'm not really getting much from anybody that's like real or transparent. Everybody's just being like in the shadows, cloak and dagger kind of feelings, and you know, I'm not buying anything anybody's selling. I honestly don't really give a shit. I care about the people, and I care about society not being this way for the children and for, you know, future generations, because this is absolute fucking hell. I'm also just trying to look for like the you know, the smoke screen shit needs to end. This toying with people, the masks wearers, and all this other stuff. It's just really lame. It's seriously like a bunch of toddlers are, but again, I can't use that because that's offensive to toddlers. I don't know a good analogy. You guys know. You get the point, okay? I'm freaking, it's like, Jesus Christ. Okay, we're done here. Alright. Oh, so that's what I was saying with the Pope. Oh, because then they were saying something like about the Pope. He was like blessing the Pope or something with Jesus's tears. And then the person in the picture I saw kind of looked like DLP a little bit. Like a weird form of him. I was like, oh, I wonder if they're trying to make him like the new Pope. Because he would be a good, like religious leader. He really would. He's like taught me so much. Or like made me remember so much, I would more say. Yeah. He taught me stuff, and he helped me remember things as well, I would say. But he's a really good teacher, you know. I think his values and stuff was a bit distorted at a point, but I also feel like he was definitely under some mind fuckery for sure. That's like the whole thing I was saying with like people putting spells on the moon, and he has a lot of moon energy in his chart, and Anybody who does, like, would understand that. I witnessed firsthand someone who I believe is the same person that he ended up marrying mind controlling me, or trying to, or she did, actually. Like, maybe, yeah. So, you know, I believe all that's possible as well. But, like, you know, he definitely came off like he was very, like, money focused. Like, I want to say, like, I've heard somebody describe it as, like, a money worshiper. And then not really caring about the environment that much. That's, like, 2 big red flags for me. But then I also feel like a lot of his behaviors was, like, putting on a show or putting on an act. Because he likes to, like, he likes to do that. And he's made that clear by, like, little Easter eggs or stuff he said and things like that and whatever. So, right before that whole thing happened with Sophia, I remember him saying, like, he was talking to, Anne. Her name's Anne on his show, the History and the Stars lady. He was talking to her and saying I think it was her. I don't remember exactly, but saying something about, oh, we're going to do this whole Guinevere thing again with the getting tricked and all this other stuff. Like, it's kind of boring. I don't know if I really want to do that. Yeah, I remember him saying that. I was like, what the fuck? So, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what is going on here, but it's just, like, a lot of mind fuckery. Like, no one can just be transparent. It's always just, like, playing games. One other thing I remember him saying that was weird was, like, oh, you're gonna make me a real boy? As if, like, you know, with the Matrix, like, that he's just, like, a program, like an AI program, and it's like, are you gonna make me real? Something like that. I remember him saying that one time. You know, sorry, I have to keep calling shit out, but, like, I don't know what else to do. Okay? I don't know what else to do. Yeah, show respect and reverence to others, as this will lead to rewards of their own. Yeah, I try. I really try to. Okay? I know, like, I've been harsh with a lot of people, and I don't wish for any harm to come to those people. I truly don't. You know, after I made the video about my brother, I was very upset, and I was, like, worried, and I was like, oh my God, like, I was picturing him, like, unaliving himself and stuff, and then I was like, oh my God, like, I'm so worried now. I don't know, like, what's gonna happen. And then I was like, he's probably gonna try to get me arrested or 5150 me, or, like, blah blah blah. But my first thoughts was, like, I'm worried that he's gonna do something to himself or feel really bad. But then I'm like, I don't think he cares. I don't think anybody cares. They just want me to shut up and stop talking. They don't want me to embarrass them. Oh, whoa. I just saw performs sacrifice. Yeah. Oh, that was hiding. Yeah, which one was that? Perform sacrificial rituals of people/beings. Yeah. So, you know, it's hard a lot of times, like, the realities that are actually going on is so difficult to comprehend because it's so fucked up. It's so cruel, and it's like you don't want to believe that because it hurts so bad, but sometimes we really need to put on our big girl and big boy pants and just stop ignoring the truth. Stop numbing yourself to what's really going on, or even the possibility. Because anybody who can be bullyish and cruel and all of that, if they have the ability in themselves to act that way regularly for years and years and years even, there's something else going on even worse. That's just logic and common sense. And I'm not here to make excuses for people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've said things as far as my kid's father goes, like, what happened to him. But my brother, like, he wasn't abused. He was everybody's favorite and stuff like that. Like, he wasn't really bullied or anything. he was just a douchebag. So there's a difference there, and there's a difference when you're purposely targeted. Because I think he was trying to give out some excuse, like, I didn't have control over myself. Because one of the readers was saying that was his excuse. And I was being controlled. I don't know. I just really don't think he was. I really don't. I think he's just a fucking brat. Yeah, self-harm in reverse. Like, he's not gonna... He wouldn't do that. Yeah, okay, I'm done talking about that. Okay. This symbol often shows a spokesperson that will be heard by everyone, show respect and reverence to others. This can show someone having a powerful memory. They can remember the faces and names of people. They also often have a powerful presence and charisma. Rituals. Someone high up acknowledging and rewarding rewards of loyalty, bonuses, and sources. My nose is getting itchy again, and I'm on the nose. That's what I'm saying. The sources of enormous inner riches, power, and its responsibility, seeking absolution, the caution, sublimating political ritual, lust for power, negating, projecting, and transferring one's shadow, not taking responsibility, jealousy of those with power, and disrespect. Yeah. I try my best to be respectful and stuff as much as I can. You know, there's been so many times where people that are in positions of authority have, like, been completely in the wrong and totally shitted all over me, and I still tried to show reverence. I still tried to be respectful as much as I could. You know, but it comes down to a point as well where it's like, when is enough enough? You could still be respectful, but at the same time, when someone's, like, raping you of your free will and your rights, your human rights, your rights as a sovereign being, they don't deserve respect. I don't care what their position of power or authority is. They do not deserve respect, and they do not deserve that position. So let's not get that shit twisted. But they do deserve it if they're willing to admit that there's somebody better for the position, and they step aside and let that person lead. That's showing true honor. That's showing true leadership. This symbol implies the ability or the necessity of being able to see far more in simple things than most people see. Instead of merely seeing an autumn leaf, the pilgrim sees the cycle of life, the seed turning into the tree, the leaves turning in the autumn, etc., etc. There's far more to see in simple objects than is first apparent. You may have learned much and yet grown tired of seeking information about life. Guardian of the vulnerable, you or someone else intervenes to protect a weaker party. And it came out crossing, so it's in the works right now. Okay, there's far more to see in simple objects than is first apparent. You may have learnt much and yet grown tired of seeking information about life through conventional channels. A sudden insight can lead to a whole new revelation of life and its processes. Seeing things that others miss, looking for answers in simple everyday things around you. They may be fleeting, but they are around you. Look for the signs. They can have profound effects. Excuse me. Oh, and Spirit wants me to say this. That whole thing with the axe that I was talking about, I wasn't hitting myself with the axe trying to unalive myself or anything. I had the cover on it, and I was doing, like, a tension release and trying to release my trauma, the tension that's built up in my body, and I was doing it, like, all over my body. And I was also having the intention of detaching any energies that were mirroring me, like, trying to dress themselves in my energy and then present themselves to the higher realms and steal my gifts and powers or whatever they're doing. I don't know. And then also just siphoning from me without giving anything back. Like, I was trying to chop down the giving tree, so to speak. Like, the Kaz guy, the hermit guy was talking about, that he was saying, like, the whole story about the giving tree, that if you don't know, you gotta go back, you gotta catch up, okay? I can't keep it re-explaining everything. So I just want to put that out there, because, like, and I wasn't, that I wasn't doing that around my kids or anything like that, like, so, yeah. Alright. A sudden insight can lead to a new revelation of life and its processes. Seeing things others miss. Look for answers in simple everyday things around you. They may be fleeting, but they are around you. Look for the signs. They can have profound effects. Seasonal adjustments, fleeting inspiration, pilgrims and journeys, photographs, snapshots in time, angelic visions, philosophical minds. Oh, and the other thing with the axe thing. So, like, okay. So I was, like, doing that for a long time, right? And then I didn't feel any pain. I felt fine. I think it was for, like, maybe 2 days. I felt fine after I finished my session of what I was doing. We'll call it. And then all of a sudden, it was like, I felt like it's really not okay. Like, my head felt like pounding in. It felt like I could feel like, as if somebody literally took an axe to my fucking head. It was like chopping my brains out. It felt like that. So what I think happened was, like, it was like one of two things. So, like, the one thing, and this is just theories, okay, is that, there was energies attached to me. There was siphoning going on, but it wasn't to the extent that I chopped the axe. So that shit got sent to them, but then there was the rest of what was just basically me kind of attacking myself in a way. But that, like I said, that wasn't my intention to harm myself. But inevitably, like, it is kind of dangerous to do that. I don't recommend anybody doing that. Like, it could be dangerous. I don't know. Especially if you have, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking, like, you don't have, like, a lot of muscles and stuff. Like, the veins are, like, chop at your veins. Like, you know what I mean? Like, on your head and everything. So anyway, so the residual, whatever, came back to me. And then that's kind of like, and then also what I really think it was just that God was showing me, or source, whatever, was showing me that I was being protected from all this harm, but then showing me, like, what was actually going on or whatever. Because I was also, like, I was really going through it, and I really wanted shit to end, but I wasn't trying. Like, I was trying to heal myself, don't get me wrong, but I also, like, was, like, wanted shit to end. Because this existence fucking sucks. The way shit is, it fucking sucks. It's so tyrannical and oppressive, So anyway, it was like a rebirth thing too. Like, I think it was like a rebirth thing. And so God or spirit, source, whatever, was like lifting the veil off of it, and then, like, showing me, like, myself, like, dying and being reborn. Like, I experienced it. It was, like, really, really scary. And then the only thing I could say or think of, like, while it was happening was, like, I just want the cruelty to end. Like, like, I'm tired of the fucking cruelty. Like, make it stop, please. Like, so, all right. So that's that. Sudden insight can lead to a new revelation of life and its processes, seeing things that others miss. Look for answers in simple everything. All right, pilgrims and journeys, angelic visions, philosophical minds. Okay, next. A woman activist on a platform in an emotional speech dramatizing her cause. That's like basically what I just did. Okay. This symbol shows the periodic need to be able to voice one's needs, frustrations, or demands without fear of being reprimanded. Yeah. Sometimes you may feel misunderstood or disadvantaged simply because of who you are or the position you hold, even when you stand up for what you feel. You may strike resistance, partly due to others' ignorance. You must press your case or the status quo will remain. If the cause is just and your communications are clear, you will be heard by those who understand or resonate with what you are saying, and your influence will spread. Stating one's case, revealing social passions, being a mouthpiece for personal or social causes, wanting people to listen and care, taking it to the streets, having a platform. The caution, aggressively pressing opinions on the unwilling and disinterested, rational or political structures overriding one's life, throwing tantrums and yelling soapboxes. Okay. Two girls playing with a Ouija board. There is a desire to contact a deeper wisdom, and you may need some assistance to help you focus on the message. Youthful attempts at using tools to discover the deeper meanings of life can bring surprising results. However, there can be very little control over what is coming through from the quote-unquote other side. Immature curiosity that can lead to inner guidance. Seeking easy answers to avoid responsibility. People working together to find answers. The caution, dealing with situations beyond your maturity. Continually looking for information. This is reminding me of divination abuse or something. Like, it's just saying, like, there needs to be a balance with that. Sometimes when you're pulling cards, you'll start feeling like you have no energy and stuff like that. It's because you're not meant to be looking into whatever you're looking into. So you need to be able to, like, recognize the signs and symbols of that type of thing. And that can be, like, also as well, like, even with, like, a Ouija board or something, you might have a very negative experience because your intentions aren't set up properly. You have no intentions when you're going into it. You don't know what you're you're just messing around. Like, you have to have your intentions set before you do something. Your intentions have to be clear, and they have to be benefic. If they're not benefic, you can expect nothing less than to have shitty stuff happen. Okay? Whether it be right away or somewhere down the line, but it will happen eventually. A powerful state, and I'm not saying everybody that has something shitty happen to them is because of something fucked up they did. That's not what I'm saying, because that's not how shit works. Bad things happen to good people too. Most of the time it's because their protections aren't up, their boundaries aren't set, and God allows certain attacks to happen to make that person stronger and to also activate their dormant powers. So it's only to help them in the end. So, like, my brother contacting me and harassing me, I take that as, like, God wants me to address this and heal it and deal with it, because it's been something that's really affected me for a very long time negatively. So that's why I'm like, you know, whatever. Anyway, okay. A powerful statesman overcomes a state of political hysteria. You may find that your situation is getting out of control as those around you get carried away with the energy of the situation. It is through the power of your personality that you can resolve the situation and bring back a state of equilibrium to all involved. The power to sway the mob, having the charisma and talent to turn a situation around, mind control, political savvy, knowing what to say and when to say it. Excuse me. The caution, misusing charismatic energy to sway others to personal advantage. Yeah, so that's reminding me of the whole moon thing, and, like, also, like I just said, like, protecting your boundaries, setting boundaries, sticking to them, refusing to allow these people to have power over you when they should not. That's like if your father was the president of the United States, but he's a total piece of shit to you. But you're scared to say anything about all the fucked up shit he's done because he's the president of the United States. Well, you know what? Whistleblowers are protected. And you have First Amendment rights. So, also there's universal law. At the end of the day, what does it really matter anyway? Like, just live your life the best you can, be the best person you can, and try to be virtuous and courageous. Because, like, you're going to have nothing but regrets at the end of the day. Your soul's not going to heal or evolve. You're not going to become a better person. It doesn't matter how much people persecute you or you get punished or no one even listens to you. At least at the end of the day, your heart grew. You didn't stay the Grinch with your heart 3 times too small, or the Scrooge or whatever, you know? That's what should matter. That's what matters to me. So, this symbol points to invisible levels of power that are cloaking someone. It could show someone who's powerful, a leader, someone to be reckoned with. There's often an unavoidable need to accept powerful responsibilities and to respond rationally to anything that needs to be done. It is almost as though this has been thrust upon you, but it is as much because you have placed yourself in this position of power and responsibility, and you both understand and accept the consequences of the role. If this is not about you, it can be about someone else in your environment. Take care not to lord it over others. Leadership and its responsibilities, powerful descent of energies taking over one's very being. Recognizing brilliance and power, mantles of power, cloaks and shawls. The caution, outer shows of superiority, presuming oneself to be more than one is. Megalomania, not owning one's magnificence, being pushy, the weight of the world on one's shoulders. Okay, we just talked about that. Okay. Natural steps up to a lawn blooming with clover. I'm just going to read the words at the bottom. We've already done this one in other readings like a million times. It comes up like all the time. Gradually enlarge inspirational possibilities, gradually enlarging one's vision, harmony, abundance, nourishment, being barefoot, small efforts leading to large returns. The caution, looking for the easy way out, not making the effort to find what is a few steps away, expecting everything to be laid out for you, weeds and unkempt lives. Oh, that's reminding me somebody talking about, like, the garden will always get weeded. Speaking of, like, Earth being overrun with evil tyrants. Virgo in the eighth degree. A young person takes their first dancing lesson. The need to conform to new higher talents being developed, including discipline, self-control, and concentration. The need to conform to new steps, following the rhythm, music, and dance. The caution, difficulty in understanding lessons. Continual returning to the lessons at the beginning. Not paying attention. Not wanting to move or surrender to the rhythms. Naive, yeah. So that's like that whole thing I was explaining about, like, I keep riding these waves, and then this hand comes in and just smacks it as soon as I'm about to, like, land or whatever. So there's something there with a lot of these energies that are controlling the world today, not surrendering to the natural rhythms and flows of nature and distorting and interfering. I feel like that is getting less and less. I feel like things might be better soon, but I don't 100% know, and especially now that I'm being bombarded in my personal life again, it makes it harder for me. But I'm trying to look at it in a positive way, like that it's just because, like, God's trying, or source, whatever, is trying to make me, like, stronger and deal with my trauma. And also put people in their place who think their shit don't stink. Aldebaran, Taurus, in the 12th, a young couple walk down Main Street window shopping. And again, I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm not saying there's no value in my brother, as a human being, or anybody else I've brought up about their bullying, okay? Everyone has their flaws, everyone has their strengths, whatever, but it's a matter of, like, the balance, okay? The give and the take. And I think I've talked him up quite a bit. I've said a lot of things about him. I've shown things about him that could show his benefic characteristics, or that exemplify his benefic characteristics, but, like, the negative, I feel like, far outweighs it, and I feel it, that it is outweighed, and I've been burying it for a long time. So, like, for anybody else that's dealing with fucked up family relationships and situations and stuff, if there is an imbalance there, you need to stop accepting it. You need to stop accepting it and burying it and numbing it and excusing the person because they're your family and you feel bad for them. Do they feel bad for you? Most likely not. And if they ever tried to show that they did, they were probably faking. Jealousy and greed can rise up when there seems to be so much so close. Realize that things of inner worth are available to you right now. So the caution is denying inner worth because of material deficiency, trying to keep up with the Joneses, tire kickers, those who want to look but don't want to commit. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Overspending. There's a lot of people who, like, will hint at things. They'll flirt. You know, they'll be coy or whatever, but they'll never be outright 100% transparent. So, two lovers are strolling through a secluded walk. This symbol speaks of spending time with a lover, with loved ones, or addresses the issue of being alone versus being lonely. Being with someone you love and enjoying their presence without rush or pressure is likely to be important, even if this means being with that part of you that you never seem to give yourself much time for. You should be able to escape the realities of the world and touch the deeper feelings of your heart without fear of being excluded or criticized. Try to find some time for quiet romance and balance. Walking love's path, secret love affairs, being undisturbed, being happy alone or wondering where the other is, the need for seclusion, peace, and privacy. The caution, being selfish, keeping one's partner to yourself, jealousy when others are around, being afraid to commit to relationship, feeling left out and uninvited. Yeah, so, you know, with that, it's like important to be happy within yourself, to be able to go into a hermit's cave and spend time alone and reflect and all of that, which I've been doing for a very long time. And I don't know, and just holding on to the lessons you've learned and stuff like that, and acknowledging that, like, if you come out of the hermit's cave and people still treat you like less than or trying to play tricks on you and get you involved in third-party situations, siphon your energy or whatever, at least hopefully then you'll be able to recognize it right away and nip it in the bud and say bye-bye. You know what I mean? Instead of, like, continuing to let them do it over and over and justifying them and all this other crap. So, at least now I know how to, I kind of know how to tell if someone's whatever. Okay. Let's just talk about skinwalkers, but, like, yeah. I don't really know how to do that, like, because recently I found this screenshot and I posted on the video not the last week, 2 videos back, about wolfsbane, but, like, I don't know how to prepare it or anything, but, like, you know, I would need to know how to tell if someone is that before I would ever commit to anything, because there's no way in hell I'm getting involved with somebody who isn't who they're presenting themselves to be, and who's married or in a relationship behind the scenes or whatever. Because that's what happened at the YMCA the other day when I was in the hot tub trying to heal myself. There was this man in the hot tub, right? This is before the bald-headed guy came out. And there was this man in the hot tub, right? And it was like, I didn't even look at him. I felt no energy from him or anything. And I felt awkward. And I was like, I don't know. But I was like, whatever, I need to heal myself. So, like, I sat on the jet and I was, like, trying to, like, fix my spine and stuff. And then I just kept, like, kind of looking around or whatever. My arm was, like, going numb at one point. And then so I was doing this. And then I, like, put my arm out like that. And then, because, like, you know, doing mudras or whatever can help, like, with closing circuits on your body and stuff like that. But this is also, like, from the waiting, what is it called with Ryan Reynolds? The Waiter or something, where they work at a restaurant and they do that thing, and if you look down, if someone looks at it, they get to kick you in the balls or something. I don't remember. It's some stupid game that they played. So I was thinking to myself, like, I wonder if this guy sees me doing this, if that he's gonna think that or whatever. And then, so I was telling myself, like, okay, I'm just going to stay in here for another 10 minutes. I need to at least, like, spend, like, 15 minutes on my spine trying to fix it. So, like, it gets to the 15 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, but I just, like, got to this one part on my spine where now I feel like there's the energy, like, the pain energy shifted up to this other spot. So I was trying to work on that. And then all of a sudden, so it's, like, past the 15 minutes, all of a sudden this chick comes walking out from the locker room. She looks kind of like Trailer Trash Tammy a little bit. And this guy that was in there, he had gauges in his ears, black gauges. He almost looked like a weird version of my kid's father, like a not hot version, but like, I don't know. Anyway, and then so this chick comes out and I'm like, because I was like, this guy wasn't giving off, like, he wasn't really giving off any energy, really. But it was like, I could feel like he was looking at me. I wasn't looking at him, but I could feel like he was looking at me and almost judging me. And then, but I didn't sense that he's in a relationship. Usually anybody that comes by me, I can tell right away they're in a relationship because they, like, broadcast it out. They're like, I'm in a relationship. Like, don't even look at me, bitch. Or something like that. I don't know. But this was different. And then so she comes in and she sits next to him. And I'm like, ugh. Like, 'cause she's, like, one of those people that, like, probably doesn't, like, really clean their crotch and stuff like that. And I don't mean to be vulgar or rude or disrespectful. But it just seemed... I just got that vibe, okay? There was another time I was in the hot tub, and there was a bunch of, like, older gentlemen in there, and there was, like, pube hairs floating around and, like, brown stuff. It was so gross. So, like, you know, I am pretty overweight, okay? I'm pretty tall, but I'm, like, I am not the weight that I wish I was. I've lost a lot of weight recently from changing my diet, but I'm still not where I would like to be, okay? But when I was at my worst, which was 230 pounds, which is when the whole incident happened, which is why, like, you know, them trying to say I couldn't operate a vehicle or whatever. Bitch, I'm 230 pounds. Like, what do you think a fucking glass of wine is going to do to me? Granted, I know I sounded stupid, but that's also because I was highly distressed and on Vyvanse and Cymbalta, which are major contraindicating medications. And anytime I would be on the Vyvanse and then get put into any type of situation, it amps it up, and then it makes me go like this and makes me like bleh, and sound retarded. But anyway, so I just know that, like, when I was super heavy, the smells were not great, okay? It was like the hygiene, it's very difficult to maintain your hygiene when you're overweight. So, like, when she got in, I was like, oh, come on. Like, can't you just let me, like, get a moment here? Because before I went to the gym, I was like, God, please don't put any stinky old men in there with me, please. So, I know I sound kind of like an asshole a little bit, you know. So anyway, so they got in there, and then I was trying not to be rude and just get out right away, but I just waited like a couple minutes, and then I got out, and then I just jumped in the pool, did a couple laps in the pool, and then I was sitting on the bleachers, and then this chick was like staring at me. This chick, okay, was staring at me, because I just felt like they were mask wearers, like they weren't who they were supposed to be. And the hand gesture is a key hint here, okay? Because if you know, you know, all right? Although I'm not saying that the person who did that in a video recently is that person, or that they were even doing that because of that. But it's just a little weird. A little weird coincidence. Okay? I'm not gonna say the person's name. I don't know. Should I? Should I just fucking say it? Be an asshole? We got a no, and we got 2 most likely no's. Okay. So, like, this person, I also feel like they're, just highly connected to me, and they're, like, I just heard like a boom, boom, like a boom, boom, like sound. They're just highly connected to me, so they're like can experience everything. Also, somebody was saying they're out of the Matrix, and I'm still in the Matrix, so they're like viewing things, which I've already like. That's been kind of like shown to me and confirmed to me like several times already. That they're like in the upper dimensions already or whatever, like kind of like waiting for me or something, or like I don't even know. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, my whole point with the story is that something with mask wearers, and then people like being in relationships, but they're seeming like they're not, or they're seeming like they're in a relationship but they're not. I don't know. There's just something weird there going on there. Okay. Oh, and then so when I was on the bleachers, this chick was looking at me, and it was like she was looking at me with like, I felt like it was like an empathy. It was almost like a, oh my God, look. Not like a wide-eyed, but like a, like shocked almost, but like sad. But also, like, what the fuck at the same time? I'm not really sure. It was very weird. It was very weird. But yeah, and I couldn't even look at the guy. I don't know why I couldn't really look at him. Other than when he stood up at one point and, like, to go turn the jets back on. Because the jets went off. And I just, like, looked at him from the side for a second. But other than that, I couldn't look at him. It just felt like awkward. I don't know. Anyways. Oh, wait. Here's the midheaven. This is important. So, pelicans disturbed by the garbage of people move their young to a new habitat. So, this is a main energy. Yeah. The symbol shows the ability or the necessity of being on the alert for intrusion and danger in your life and in the lives of those in your care, whether they are your own children or the children or youngsters of others. At times in your life, you may feel that conditions are changing, and you and your family, sometimes friends, don't feel safe. You may need to move to a new situation which will provide more nourishment. I wish I could. I wish I had that opportunity. Safety and security and less danger. This can refer to an inner withdrawal, not wanting to watch the news, listen to bad information or thoughts. Yeah, that's been happening a lot. Anytime I'm watching a reader even if it's someone I really like, once they start getting like negative or like overly repetitive, or they start trash talking any group of people. Recently, somebody was talking shit about people in rehab. They kept bringing this up in a weird way, like talking about people in rehab, people going to rehab or whatever, or saying that you went to rehab when you really didn't, and like just talking shit about people in rehab. It's like, why would you talk shit about people in rehab? Yes, there are people that get forced to go in rehab and they don't want to be there, but rehab can really help people, and it has helped people. Helped me. I was an outpatient, but you know, it depends on the rehab. But like, you don't need to shame people because they've been in it. Like, that doesn't make you better than me or anyone else that's been in rehab because you haven't been. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, why do people do that? I don't understand that shit. Why are they always trying to shame others for everything? It's like, get a fucking grip. The only thing you should be ashamed of is if you're bullying people and abusing people. Like, willfully bullying and willfully abusing people. If you're ignorant or if you're unaware that what you're saying or doing is those things, hopefully you get corrected within a timely manner and you realize and you stop fucking doing those things. But like, you know, that's different. But like, you know, people that are willfully, knowingly aware and they're doing it, that's where it's not okay. All right, at times in your life, you may feel that conditions are changing and you and your family, sometimes friends, don't feel safe, blah, blah, blah. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Concerns with survival, the endeavor to achieve mental, physical, or emotional well-being or peace, safety and security concerns, problems with rent or mortgage, retreats, the caution not prepared to compromise or cohabitate, mess and rubbish, people not being able to live together, insecure and unpredictable conditions, noisy neighborhoods. Yeah. All right. In a museum, a larger cake. Okay, I'm just gonna, the rest of these, I'm just gonna go through. You guys can pause the video if you want to read it. I gotta end this video. We're going way over. I'm not gonna have any more time. And this is a lot of repeating. Oh, that's it anyway. So just repeating. So we went through most of it. We'll do a quick little summary here, and then that's it. This natal chart represents a profound spiritual blueprint where the angular relationships between planets reveal a soul deeply engaged in the reconciliation of polarities. The chart is dominated by a powerful sun-moon opposition, a signature of karmic tension between the individual will and collective emotional patterns. The synthesis sign of Leo, fire plus fixed, and the shadow sign of Virgo, earth plus mutable, suggests a soul learning to balance creative expression with humble service. The nodal axis across the 6th to 12th houses further emphasizes a journey from practical duty to spiritual dissolution. The current incarnation demands that the native lead through service and shine without dominating. The moon in Aquarius also squares Pluto and Capricorn in the 10th, adding a layer of karmic control issues around authority and emotional freedom. Financial and emotional stability cannot be built on old foundations. The soul is being forced to innovate its relationship with security. The square suggests that sudden disruptions to income or creative projects are not punishments but initiations. The universe dismantling false structures of safety. The Cancer placement of the lot of wealth also ties into the 4th house, Juno and Cancer, suggesting that family patterns around money and nurturing must be radically redefined. The native spiritual lesson is to find wealth not in accumulation, but in authentic self-expression. Fucking nose is getting all itchy again. The 12th house is the realm of collective unconscious, spiritual surrender, and karmic release. This square creates a crisis of control versus surrender. That was the main message I got 3 years ago when I went through all this, my first main awakening. I had other awakenings. Sirens going off. Was about surrendering. The soul must dismantle its attachment to status, reputation, and material achievement. To embrace the formless, compassionate, and transcendent nature of Pisces. The square also involves the part of fortune in Libra 7th house, which squares Pluto, indicating that relationships are the crucible for this transformation. Partnerships will force the native to confront their shadow of control and learn true equality. Disciplined friendships, mature group involvement, and the building of social structures aligned with higher ideals. Guys, if this gets cut off, there'll be a part 2. Hopefully I'll be done quickly, but I don't know how much storage I have on here. Okay, this aspect indicates that the native's happiness and prosperity are directly linked to committed partnerships and community service. The native's fortune lies in being a pillar of their community while remaining emotionally detached enough to serve the greater good. Yes. A gift for healing through words. Mercury retrograde in Leo in the 6th house suggests a past where the native's voice was suppressed or misused. Now they must reclaim their authentic expression in the realm of daily work, health, and service. The sextiles the law of Eros in Gemini, which governs passionate communication and the soul's deepest desires. The 4th house connection, the Imam Coeli. Oh, here's the Imam Coeli that was like being pointed out so much. Indicates that this gift is rooted in the ancestral lineage. That's probably why the blood memory through ancestral lineage power kept coming up so much in the superpowers series. The native may be a channel for healing family karma through writing, teaching, or counseling. The Gemini placement adds a mercurial, versatile quality. The native can speak to many different people in their own language. Spiritually, this aspect suggests that Eros life force flows through the throat chakra, and that the native's purpose is to inspire others by speaking their truth with both heart, Leo, and intellect, Gemini. Yeah. So, like, for me, I think a lot of my thing is, like, speaking out for the black sheeps, speaking out for the scapegoats, things like that. Because, you know, that's been a very big theme in my life. Also for people that are getting bullied by their family or others in general, and also those getting manipulated into contracts and agreements that they don't fully understand. They're getting tricked, they're getting robbed, stolen from, the whole theft thing. So all of that, yeah. This configuration forms a bridge between the underworld and the divine. Ooh, Neptune and Aquarius. This reminded me of I don't know if I want to say that. Yeah, whatever. All right, the sextile between them is harmonious, suggesting that the native can consciously navigate spiritual transformation. The law of death, 8th house, conjunct Pluto, amplifies this. The soul is being asked to die to its old identity repeatedly. However, Neptune sextile ensures that these deaths are not traumatic, but mystical initiations. The native may have psychic abilities, particularly around understanding the karmic patterns. Spiritual verb. Of others. The 12th house placement of Neptune also indicates that solitude, meditation, and dream work are essential for integrating these energies. This aspect is a gift for those who can surrender to the void. Ooh. The void. Talk a lot about the void. All right. Venus in Cancer, sextile, law of marriage, the nurturing partnership. This sextile offers a karmic blueprint for love. Venus retrograde in Cancer, 5th house, suggests a past life where the native's capacity to love was wounded. perhaps through loss, betrayal, or emotional unavailability. Now Venus sextiles the lot of marriage in men in the Virgo 6th house, indicating that healing comes through practical, service-oriented partnerships. That's why I said with my choice, it was like about being the protector of mankind and like having someone who I can like go on missions with and like adventures and like just do shit with that's actually like I want to do, which what I want to do is serve humanity and change the world for the better and make shit better. For me, that's fun. Okay. The 6th house placement of the lot of marriage suggests that the native's most significant relationships will be formed in context of work, health, or daily routine. The Virgo influence demands that love be expressed through acts of service, attention to detail, and mutual improvement. Spiritually, this aspect teaches that true intimacy is built not on grand gestures, but on consistent, humble care. Yeah, like grand gestures, especially when they're cloaked. Like it's nice, but like if it's a grand gesture where it's like transparent and that it's directed towards the other person and it's in service of a greater ideal, then that's, you know, that's where it's at. And then, you know, but like the consistent humble care, the acts of service, the acts of care towards the other person is what's really important. There has to be reciprocity. So like say like one person's like commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing to someone they have a crush on the internet. Okay? And that other person's like kind of flirting with them back in like chats, like in the lives or whatever, or they're like posting videos where they're like making little comments that are like directed towards them because it's like something very specific that like you said or like that you did, and then they're like responding back to it basically, but they're not actually being transparent. They're not actually like going and doing anything like liking your shit or sharing your shit or even acknowledging you or messaging you back or saying anything, then like that's not where it's at, right? And granted, like, you know, there can be a grace period. You know, some people are slow and steady wins the race. You know, like they maybe just like putting their feelers out, doing little things here and there. But there has to be a time limit. There has to be a time frame. Like, you can only wait so long for somebody, and then you got to be done. You got to give them a chance, like, give them a little time. But for the most part, that's, like, a huge indicator. The person's playing you out. They're full of shit, okay? They have ulterior motives or whatever. Spiritually, this aspect teaches that true intimacy is built not on grand gestures. Okay. So the native must heal their relationship with the mother or the concept of home before they can fully receive love. Okay. The nodal axis. Though not an aspect between planets, the nodal axis is the chart's spiritual compass. The south node in Virgo in the 6th house indicates a past life of meticulous service, perhaps as a healer, monk, or craftsman. The soul mastered the art of analysis, purification, and duty. However, this has become a karmic trap. The native may overanalyze, criticize, or lose themselves in perfectionism. The north node in Pisces, 12th house, calls the soul towards surrender, faith, and mystical union. The square from Pluto makes this transition difficult but necessary. The native must learn to trust the unseen, embrace chaos, and dissolve the boundaries between self and the other. That's what I'm saying with the whole surrender thing, and then, like, you know, giving time to things, not just expecting, like, you may have put out your intentions to somebody and then they're being really slow about it. They're putting out like little like hints or whatever, but then it's like it's not like really full blown or whatever, but like you gotta at least be reasonable and give it a little bit of time. Not just expect and demand answers. And then even, you know, once your time frame has been met and it's not, you don't need to be a douchebag about it or be like, oh, fuck this person or something. Like, just, it's whatever. I'm moving on. Okay. Like, so there's something with that. Like, so that's like where it comes to like the fool's journey, like jumping into the unknown, making a choice. That's what I was guided to do with the whole like making a choice of a co-pilot and like putting it in my ship. So it's like a relationship, putting it in my ship, my Medusa head, which is my Medusa ship, my warship or whatever. And my war is not with weapons, my like physical weapons, and I've explained all this. It's the swords or keys and all of that. Okay. Calls the soul to, also with my co-pilot thing, the elongated cross that's on the shield. I was Googling that and it was saying something about that actually represents that the person is not a part of the war. They're not a part of the battle. They're just there to like help, like heal and assist or whatever. They're not there to or actually it was saying they're free from getting attacked. They're not supposed to be able to get attacked, is what it was saying. You guys can Google it. I'm not going to Google it right now, but if you want to Google it, go ahead. But although the character does have a sword in their hand, but that's like, it's a defensive thing. So like if someone comes at them, they have the ability to protect themselves. But they're not supposed to be included in the warfare. Okay. Calls the soul towards surrender, faith, and mystical union. Makes this transition difficult but necessary. The native must learn to trust the unseen, embrace chaos, and dissolve the boundaries. The 12th house placement suggests that this evolution happens in solitude, through dreams, or in service to those who are suffering. The shadow sign of Virgo confirms that the soul's greatest challenge is to let go of control and embrace the flow of divine grace. Okay, beautiful. This chart is a masterclass in karmic reconciliation. The sun-moon opposition demands the integration of ego and collective, while the Uranus lot of wealth square shatters false securities. Pluto's square to the North Node forces a death of ambition for the sake of spiritual evolution. That's reminding me of the song, I don't want to set the world on fire, I just want to start a flame in your heart. Yet Saturn's trine to the part of fortune offers a foundation of disciplined love. The soul's journey is from, and the disciplined love is reminding me of like not being impetuous, making a decision, sticking to it until the deadline. You know, there has to be a deadline. There has to be a grace period of giving something a chance, giving the other person to decide. You can't just go and say, I want to be with you, and then expect that person to just be like, yeah, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for most reasonable people, that's not how it works. All right. The soul's journey is from the temple of service to the ocean of compassion. Pisces North Node. With every aspect. Okay. So don't want me to say this for some reason. Okay. With every aspect serving as a wave carrying the native toward that shore. Oh, the wave analogy. I like that. The synthesis sign of Leo reminds the native that their unique light is the gift they must offer, while the shadow of Virgo warns against losing that light in the details. I'm very detail-oriented, and I go a little too far. But I don't think I go too far. I shouldn't say that. That's being dismissive, because like that's my superpower, is the details. But what I think it's saying is there can be a toxicity there where you analyze these details and you jump to conclusions about them. So like that whole hot tub thing, I could have jumped to conclusions about it but I chose not to because it could be, there's other factors that could be, and it's not been presented to me what it is succinctly or 100%. So I'm not going to jump to conclusions about it. You know what I mean? Like the evidence isn't there. So it's like, you know, when you're spiritual and you're in both of these worlds, you have to look at the evidence. You have to look at the facts the best you can. Okay? And just consider them the best you can. With every aspect serving as a way... Okay, where were we? Alright, so the wound is the place where the light enters you, Rumi. Okay, beautiful. Alright, guys. So I think that's it. We'll do fortunes. So pick a number between 1 through 5. Pause the video if you need to. Number 1, what is your fortune? Beware the fury of a patient man. Ooh, haven't seen that one in a while. Number 2, so live that you wouldn't be ashamed to sell the family parrot to the town gossip. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So live with integrity. Number 3, remember to order your takeout also. I don't know what that means. Remember to order your takeout also. Maybe you need to order takeout. I don't know. It's got a question mark. Like, remember to order your takeout also. Maybe you'll know what it means, I guess. Maybe. I'll give you another one just in case. That's kind of like, what the fuck? All right, number 3. There are many new opportunities that are being presented to you. Okay. Number 4. You will be showered with good luck. Ooh. Number 5. Example is better than perception. Just like lead by example or whatever. Alright, guys, that's the messages I have for you. Please feel free to comment down below, like, share, subscribe, follow, all the things. I greatly appreciate it. And I will catch you on the next one. I think I'm going to do a superhero one next. I want to try to get them all done with as quickly as possible. So I'm just going to do, like, quick ones. But, yeah. Okay. Bye.